The FIA Super License, something that to a lot of people is shrouded in mystery. How do you actually qualify for an FIA Super License and therefore be eligible to drive a Formula 1 car in an official session? But how do you actually get a Super License? What do you have to do to qualify for one and drive in the pinnacle of motorsport? Well, here's a quick explainer video going over how it all works. Now, there's many different types of licenses issued by the FIA, the sports governing body, and also the governing body of a lot of different series in Europe in particular. Things like Formula 2, things like Formula 3, things like FRECA. If you go down far enough, it's all organised by the FIA. And to be able to get a super license for Formula 1, you first need to hold a Grade A license, which is the license category below the super license. It's the highest one aside from the super license, and it allows you to be able to compete in series such as F2 and F3. You also must be at least 18 years of age. Of course, Max Verstappen managed to get a super license back in 2015 despite being 17 years of age. And remember, Kimi Antonelli, he couldn't get a super license until he was 18 either, although he did get that exemption which teams can apply for. Arvid Lindblad allegedly also got one as well for Red Bull earlier this year too. And just like getting a road license as well, you also need to pass a knowledge theory test on International Sporting Code and the F1 sporting regulations. So you need to do a bit of studying in order to get one. It's not just purely about driving ability, it's also about showing that you know the rules to be able to drive safely in a Formula 1 car. And yes, that means that Lance Stroll did pass that test somehow. You also must complete at least 80% of 2 separate seasons from any single-seater championship which is approved by the FIA. So this does normally apply to every driver that comes through into F2, of course, because they will have competed at least 1 season in F2 and 1 season in F3. So that means that even drivers who have gone through the junior categories incredibly quickly, like Gabriel Bortoleto, where he won F3 and then won F2 the next season after that, he qualifies because he competed 2 of those seasons. And you also need to accumulate at least 40 points for a super license over a 2 or 3 year period. Now, how these points are awarded is in a table that I should be showing on the screen right now. Everything from F2 to F3 to Formula E, the World Endurance Championship, it's all on here. Even the NASCAR series and IMSA is on here. The IndyCar series as well, it's all on here. Essentially, if you win the IndyCar series or the F2 Championship, you will get a super license because of those points, because you get 40, but different championships award different amounts of points, and I can't go through all of them here on the channel. I would be here too long. Go over to the Wikipedia page if you want, but I'll have a screenshot that shows the biggest and most important ones in this regard on the screen for you guys now. Now, if you've got a super license, you need to renew it eventually. It's not forever. You can't just get a super license then keep it for the rest of your life. Essentially, what you have to do to be able to renew it is that you complete around 100 kilometers in free practice sessions. That is why, of course, you will see a lot of free practice drivers who are relatively experienced drivers getting runs out in free practice sessions. Drivers such as Alex Palou and Pato O'Ward from IndyCar, of course, have competed for McLaren during free practice sessions to get them up to that 100 kilometers an hour, just to be able to help them out in this regard. And also just get them a bit of experience in F1 too. Although, of course, Palou is not going to be competing for McLaren anytime soon, of course. Now, a lot of things have changed Now, over the years, the rules for super licenses, of course, have changed as Formula 1 has evolved, and the most recent rule change came last year. Previously, you had to have a driver's license for the road, a regular driver's license that you or me may have. They had to have one of those as well to be able to apply for a super license. However, that has now changed. You no longer need to have a regular driver's license to be able to get a super license, which is odd to say the very least. But again, the likes of Max Verstappen back in the day did pass their driver's test for the road after they made their Formula 1 debut, because I believe in the Netherlands you have to be 18 to get a driver's license, and he made his debut at 17 years of age. This basically equalises it in terms of drivers who are from countries where you have to be older than other countries to get a driver's license. I think in countries like the United States, for example, you can get a driver's license at like 15 years of age, depending on which state you live in. Whereas in, again, other countries like the Netherlands, you have to be 18 to do so. So it just equalises that basically. But yeah, there we go, guys. That is how you get a super license for Formula 1. Those are all the requirements around it. I hope you learned something today in this F1 Explainer video. Have a fantastic day wherever you are in the world today, guys, and we'll see you soon for much more content on Formula 1 just like this.